Hello, greetings from PMG Engineering. I'm Shimmi Sebastian and I'm back with yet another module that shall be on cheese manufacturing. In the module, we shall be starting with the introduction to cheese, its type and its manufacturing process for cheese in general. And before concluding, we shall be specifically looking into cheddar cheese manufacturing, which shall give us in-depth insight on the manufacturing process. Cheese is a coagulated dairy product. It is generally coagulated with rennet or casein, or a combination of both can be used. Important as a preservation technique, cheese making reduces about 10 volume of milk to 1 volume of cheese. The curd or maybe soft gel is formed by the chief protein in milk, that is casein. When enough lactic acid is developed from lactose, also known as milk sugar, by the microorganisms present in the milk, or when it is acted upon by rennin. One can find cheese in various flavors, textures and form. Cheese is a good source of calcium and is a key nutrient for healthy bones and teeth, while it also helps in blood clotting, wound healing and maintaining normal blood pressure. Cheese flavored products do not have the same nutritional value and are more likely to be high in sodium. While many cheeses are high in sodium and fat, but the benefits may outweigh the disadvantages. Maybe this was the reason cheese industry saw some sudden increase in the demand and popularity in last 50 to 60 years. Having more than 18,000 varieties, of course, needs a lot of classification and categorization to define them precisely. There are thousands of varieties of cheese ranging from mild to mature in flavor and low to high fat in composition. It can be made from the milk of cows, sheep, goats and other animals. Major category is soft and hard cheese. Soft cheese include mozzarella, brie, feta and ricotta, while hard cheese has a lower moisture content than soft cheese due to an extended aging process. They are naturally lower in lactose and are often eaten and enjoyed by people with lactose intolerance. Popular hard cheese include cheddar, parmesan, gouda and colby. Cheeses are available in various flavors, forms, that is chunks, slice, cube, shredded, grated and many others, and are packaged to meet consumers' need. Now coming to the process. Starting from the pre-treatment of milk to ensure quality raw product to begin with, in the cheese manufacturing process, milk is subjected to coagulation process. At the moment of coagulation, all the milk constituents, including most of the fat, casein and other water-insoluble substance, are contained in the curd. The curd is then cut or broken to release the whey, but a portion of whey is always retained in the curd. The slide shows very precisely the step-by-step process for cheddar cheese manufacturing, which starts with receiving of good quality raw milk. The raw milk goes through a few pre-treatment steps like heating, filtration, standardization and pasteurization before actual cheese manufacturing can commence. And these all steps ensure high quality and consistent product. The actual cheese manufacturing starts by adding coagulating agents in the milk. The coagulated proteins of the milk then thoroughly is cooked to remove whey from the product. Cheddaring process is done to further acidify the curd and draw more whey out. Then next comes the milling process, where the matted curds that are formed during the cheddaring process are cut into finer particles. Salt basically promotes the dewatering and it also influences on the growth of microorganisms and the activity of enzymes such as rennet and microbial enzymes as well, as it modulates cheese ripening. To remove any left out whey and pose this to give a specific shape, hooping, dressing and pressing is done. In case of moisture in cheese, there is high chance of the shrinkage, and paraffining the cheese helps to prevent the shrinkage in cheese. The cheese is dipped into the melted paraffin for few seconds before it moves to the storage for maturation, or also known as curing process, where the cheese is kept for at least 2 to 3 months. We just broadly went through the process in the last slide, and now we shall be breaking each step into smaller parts to understand the details, like beginning with receiving. High-grade milk can yield high-grade cheese. An efficient grading system should be in place. Inspecting and clearing the physical, chemical and microbial aspects is a must before starting the production of cheese. Then comes filtration, which is the removal of any visible dirt in milk. The milk is usually preheated to 35 to 40 degrees Celsius for efficient filtration and clarification. The third step is standardization, that refers to adjustment of casein to fat ratio in cheese, which is generally kept at 0.68 to 0.70. Next in line is pasteurization. Cheese milk is held at 63 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes, while in case of HTST pasteurization, there is a variation. That is, the milk, is kept at 72 degrees Celsius for 15 seconds. The obvious reason being killing the pathogenic microorganism and increasing the shelf life. The starter. Starter is a heart of the cheese. A bad starter is almost certain to give low quality cheese. A cheddar starter usually contains Streptococcus lactis and Streptococcus cremoris. The usual time to add the starter is before all the milk has been received in the vat. The amount of starter added is to the extent of 0.5 to 1% of the milk, and the temperature of addition is kept at around 30 to 31 degrees Celsius. Next is coloring. The color is usually diluted with approximately 20 times its volume of potable water for even distribution. Then comes renneting, or also known as setting step, where rennet is added in the milk, which principally contains rennin, a sulfur-containing protein, and peptine enzyme, where former is a strong clotting enzyme which causes rapid clotting without much proteolysis, and the latter, that is peptine enzyme, induces proteolysis leading to bitterness in cheese. Post-renneting comes coagulation and cutting. In coagulation, the liquid milk basically changes into a semi-solid state, where milk solid and whey get separated out. In cutting process, the firm solid blocks are cut into specific size cubes. The ninth step is the cooking. The cooking step is the slow heating of solid curd, which generally starts after 15 minutes of cutting. Drainage of whey refers to the removal of whey from the curd once desired consistency is received after cutting and cooking. Then is cheddaring. As discussed earlier, it is a process done to further acidify the curd and draws more whey out. The first step of cheddaring is adding water to the curd after the whey has drained off, and then heating and stirring the submerged curd. This helps in bringing down the moisture content of the product and to improve body and texture. Milling is a mechanical operation of cutting the blocks into smaller pieces. This step is followed by salting process, and smaller size facilitates the salting. In salting, common salt is added, without which cheese is often soft, ripen quickly and rapidly develops unpleasant flavor. Now coming to hooping. During hooping, curd is placed in hoops or molds in which the cheese curd is pressed into its final shape. For hooping operation, all the added salt should have completely dissolved and the temperature of the hooping should be 30 to 32 degrees Celsius. Here there is a term known as dressing, which refers to the arrangement of cheese cloth before and after pressing. Now, after hooping, the pressing step is followed, where curd is forced into smallest possible space to give the required final shape. There can be mechanical, screw, hydraulic and pneumatic type of pressing. For drying, the cheese blocks are placed in a room with 12 to 16 degrees Celsius temperature. And here the blocks are turned every 24-hour interval to dry cheese on both the ends. Then comes the paraffin. To prevent moisture loss, mold growth and insect attack, cheese blocks after drying are dipped into melted paraffin, which makes a thin outer coating. Then comes the last stage, that is curing. For curing and maturation purpose, cheese blocks are stored in 0 to 16 degrees Celsius room temperature for a month. This gives time to cheese blocks to develop the characteristic flavor, texture and aroma. This brings us to the end of our Cheeselicious tour. Hope this module helps people out there to understand the cheese manufacturing steps with ease. We shall be meeting again with yet another interesting topic in future. Till then, don't forget to explore website pmg.engineering and our YouTube channel for all the existing topics.